He catches the ball at the top of the key. Nobody's even close.
Left corner, down low for Bird with position. He fakes it and shoots it good.
He fakes left, spins right, and bang! The ball arcs so high it almost disappears from the rim. The crowd freezes. Even his own teammates barely breathe. Then Larry smirks, nods, and mutters something under his breath that makes the opponent storm off in frustration. That's Larry Bird. Some say he couldn't jump. Some say he wasn't fast.
Bird posted left, takes the jumper and hits it again.
But when it came to the court, he played like a man possessed. 1 minute, he's quietly slicing through the defense. The next, he's whispering a challenge in your ear that makes you second-guess yourself. Trash talk?
Larry told all of us and the media, he said,
Oh, he had that too, but the quiet, sharp kind that cuts deeper than any roar. And the funniest part? He once airballed a shot on purpose, just to see if the rookie guarding him would panic. He laughed as if nothing happened. The rookie didn't know whether to cry or run. That's Bird. Calculating, relentless, impossible to predict. Stay with us, because we're about to reveal stories even the biggest NBA fans have never heard. Moments that prove Larry Bird wasn't just great, he was unforgettable. The quiet assassin on the court, Larry Bird's greatness wasn't about flashy dunks, loud celebrations, or dramatic moves. What made him truly exceptional was his mind as much as his hands. Teammates and coaches often recall that Bird seemed to see plays before they even happened. In college, during the 1979 NCAA championship at Indiana State,
Indiana State had to take the gamble out for that steal to allow the long pass.
He moved with a calm precision that made even the best defenses look clumsy and disorganized. He didn't need to shout instructions or wave his hands to signal a play. The ball seemed to follow his plan naturally, almost as if it were obeying his thoughts. Every pass, every pivot, every shot came from preparation and instinct rather than force or flash. Trash talk was part of Bird's arsenal, but it wasn't loud or brash. It was quiet, sharp, and perfectly timed. Opponents often underestimated him, simply because he didn't scream or jump around to get attention. Once, during a Boston preseason game, a rookie thought he could guard Bird with confidence. Bird intentionally missed a shot on purpose just to see how the rookie would react. The young player froze, confused by Bird's unorthodox strategy. By the end of the quarter, the rookie admitted that he had never faced anyone like him before, someone who could control a game with subtlety and intelligence. Bird's three-point shooting often stole headlines, but his real weapon was his mental game. He could predict passes before they were made, create space even in crowded areas, and control the pace and rhythm of a game. NBA legends have said that facing Larry Bird was like playing chess in sneakers.
NBA Finals. I'm not comparing the nostalgia.
Every movement had meaning, and even the smallest gestures, a nod, a glance, a shift in stance could change how the game unfolded. Even in practice, Bird would challenge his teammates silently. A simple look could push them to work harder, think faster, and improve instantly. He demanded respect not through intimidation or loud antics, but through undeniable skill, preparation, and relentless focus. Bird's quiet confidence made him one of the most intimidating players on the court, and his approach proved that intelligence and composure could dominate even the most athletic opponents. His presence didn't just change the game, it commanded it. Trash talk that cut deeper. Larry Bird's trash talk was unlike anything most players had ever seen. While many opponents tried to intimidate with loud shouts, gestures, or exaggerated displays of anger, Bird had a completely different approach. He didn't rely on noise, bluster, or theatrics. Instead, his words were subtle, often whispered or casually thrown out during the heat of play. Yet those small comments could shatter a player's confidence faster than any loud confrontation ever could. Teammates and legends alike recall moments when a single word or glance from Bird caused defenders to fumble, misstep, or lose focus entirely. One story from a Boston game perfectly illustrates this. A young rookie thought he could challenge Bird, believing he had a chance to block a shot. During the play, Bird deliberately airballed a shot. The rookie froze, unsure what to do next. Bird calmly leaned in, looked him in the eye, and whispered, "You sure about that?" before walking away. That one small act perfectly captured Bird's genius. His mind games were as sharp and effective as his legendary three-point shots. The rookie never forgot it, and many players who faced Bird have shared similar experiences, each telling the story with a mixture of awe and disbelief. Bird also used humor as a tactical weapon. In practice, he once mocked a teammate's exaggerated jump while lining up for a free throw. The teammate lost focus, chuckled, and missed the shot. Bird simply smiled, stepped up, and made his own shot without a word. It wasn't mean-spirited. It was clever.
Larry Bird follows his own shot.
A way to destabilize competitors and stay 2 steps ahead while maintaining complete control. NBA legends like Magic Johnson, Kevin McHale, and even later stars acknowledge that Bird's combination of skill, intelligence, and psychological tactics made him one of the toughest competitors in the game's history. He didn't merely play basketball, he dictated the emotional and mental tempo of every game he entered. Opponents could try to fight back, but Bird's calm, calculated demeanor often left them second-guessing themselves.
Larry gets a little angry, and he is Moses. Wait a minute.
Whether whispering a cutting remark, subtly mocking a player, or perfectly executing a tricky play while the other team panicked, Larry Bird's trash talk was a silent weapon, as deadly as any of his shots. It became part of his legacy, proving that greatness isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers and cuts deeper than words ever could. The relentless work ethic Bird wasn't the fastest or the most athletic, but his preparation was something else entirely on a level most players couldn't even imagine. He spent hours studying opponents' habits, watching their tendencies, noting how they move without the ball, and figuring out the smallest weaknesses to exploit. Every practice was deliberate. Every shot he took was measured. Every pass rehearsed in his mind before it even left his hands. A game in the early 1980s against the Milwaukee Bucks perfectly showed his dedication. Bird's coach remembers him arriving at the arena hours before tip-off, watching the Bucks warm up, analyzing their patterns, and taking notes on every movement. After the team practice ended, while most players were heading home or relaxing, Bird stayed back, perfecting his free throws, his footwork, and even imagining scenarios for the fourth quarter. Opponents often underestimated him because of his quiet demeanor. They assumed that a player who didn't rely on flashy dunks or explosive speed couldn't dominate, but Bird's intelligence and tireless work ethic turned those supposed weaknesses into advantages. He understood spacing, timing, and positioning better than almost anyone. He knew when to push, when to pause, and how to exploit even the smallest mistake. Even NBA legends admit that playing against Bird was exhausting. He didn't just wait for the ball, he hunted it. He chased rebounds, set hard screens, and made passes that forced other players to react quickly or look foolish. Michael Jordan once noted that Bird's stamina, precision, and consistency made him almost impossible to ignore. Every single game, Bird found ways to impact the play beyond the scoreboard. Whether it was a subtle pass, a quiet steal, or controlling the tempo, he ensured his influence lasted the full 48 minutes and often left his opponents mentally drained by the end. Moments that became legendary. Some stories about Larry Bird are just too perfect to ever forget. Take a game in the mid-1980s, for example. Bird faced a tough defender who was known for shutting down every shot in sight. The crowd was tense, and everyone expected Bird to struggle, but he stayed calm, dribbled slowly, and with one subtle fake, he released a three-pointer that arched so high it nearly touched the top of the backboard. The rim shook, the ball dropped perfectly, and the crowd erupted in cheers. Even the defender couldn't help but smile, knowing he had just witnessed greatness in action. That one moment captured Bird's ability to combine precision, confidence, and a sense of calm under pressure. Bird's respect for competition was as remarkable as his skill. Before every game, he would quietly watch opponents warm up, analyzing their movements, strengths, and weaknesses. During the playoff series, he would predict which defenders might switch or leave openings, and then exploit those gaps with surgical precision. Modern stars like Luka Doncic and Jason Tatum often reference Bird's instincts as something they try to emulate today. And then there were the funny, unforgettable moments. A rookie once tried to trash talk Bird, thinking intimidation would work. Bird intentionally airballed a shot, then calmly walked over and whispered advice that left the rookie both confused and awestruck. These small, clever acts weren't one-off incidents, they happened again and again, building Bird's reputation not just as a basketball genius, but also as a subtle prankster. Over the years, these stories stacked up, showing that Bird's court presence wasn't just about points and stats. It was about mind games, wit, and unforgettable moments that made him legendary. Legacy beyond numbers. Larry Bird's legacy isn't just about points scored or rebounds collected. Sure, he won 3 NBA championships, 3 MVP awards, and an Olympic gold medal, but those numbers only scratch the surface.
We've seen some of his great moments. We've heard from his friends and former teammates about the only thing left is to hear from the man himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Bird.
They show what he accomplished, but not how he changed the game. Bird influenced the way basketball is played, blending intelligence, timing, and psychological strategy in a way few players have ever done. His presence on the court forced everyone around him to think differently, to plan, and to stay alert every second. Even decades later, NBA legends and coaches still name him as one of the toughest players to guard. It wasn't his speed or jumping ability that made him so hard to stop. It was his combination of skill, mental sharpness, and quiet confidence. Opponents had to anticipate every move, respect his judgment, and stay composed under pressure. Bird taught that basketball isn't just physical, it's mental, and knowing how to outthink your rival can win games just as much as scoring points. Stories about Bird are endless and unforgettable. He would trash-talk rookies subtly, making them doubt themselves, or dominate NBA Finals with calm precision that left fans and players alike in awe. He never needed to show off or be flashy. Every cheer, every highlight, and every story shared by teammates and competitors was earned honestly. His influence extended beyond individual games. Bird transformed the NBA into a league where intellect met talent. Young players looked at him and realized that hard work, clever thinking, and composure could rival pure athleticism. The way he combined skill and strategy created a standard for generations. Larry Bird's legacy isn't just in the stats, it's in the lessons, the inspiration, and the unforgettable moments that continue to define basketball history. Larry Bird wasn't just a player, he was an experience. The stories we shared here barely scratch the surface of his impact. Every teammate, opponent, and coach had a tale of his quiet dominance, clever mind games, or relentless work ethic. He challenged everyone he faced and left an imprint that continues to inspire players decades later. Even today, when you watch a three-pointer, a clever pass, or a perfectly timed play, you can see a bit of Bird's influence. Modern legends acknowledge it, rookies study it, and fans cherish it. His legacy goes beyond championships or awards. It lives in the moments he created, the strategies he mastered, and the awe he inspired. The next time someone doubts the power of intelligence on the court, remember Larry Bird, a player who didn't need to shout, didn't need to jump high, but changed the game through skill, cunning, and heart. His stories are proof that greatness is built quietly, calculatedly, and with relentless determination. Stay with us for more epic NBA stories, because these are moments you've never heard before, and they prove that legends like Larry Bird will never be forgotten.